So Q5 again. I think this question will arise again and again. What are all the components which are to be reckoned for PF purposes? Absolutely no issues in this. If we go through the section 6 of the Act, very clearly it says it's basic wages, DNS allowance, including the cash value of food concession, as well as the retaining allowance. If any retaining allowance means, I think the explanations given in the section itself, in case of seasonal industries, during the non-season period, in order to retain the persons in service, the company used to pay some amount during the non-season period. That is what is called retaining allowance. It may not be there for the normal industries, but still that is the idea. So all these three components are to be considered for the purposes of PF. The question comes, what is basic, right? Again, that basic pay is defined under section 2B of the Act. So the definition excludes DA, but for the purpose of contribution, it is getting included through section 6, right? And it also excludes HRA, bonus, commission, overtime allowance, right? And it also excludes the discretionary payment. If you go through that section, it is very clear, the presence made by the employer, right? So otherwise, basic, normally it is basic and DA, because for regular industries, retaining allowance may not be there. So basic and DA, we may have to consider for the payment of the PF contributions on monthly basis. And the question can arise as to what exactly is basic wage. There is interpretation. There comes the interpretation. That is the reason I think even last year the Supreme Court came up with some judgment holding certain allowances as basic wage, because it was merely, again, the nomenclature was allowance, but it was almost paid by those companies similar to how they treated the basic wages, right? So that is the idea. So when some amount is paid universally, necessarily, and ordinarily, then that would be treated as basic wage. That is the concept, idea. I'll move on. So now we are in Q6. Can bonus be paid monthly? Again and again, this question will arise, and this has become a practice now among the employers to make the bonus payment on monthly basis. But the Payment of Bonus Act 1965, what it contemplates is the payment based on profits, right? So when we say payment based on profits, profit can be derived only after the end of the accounting year, right? Only after the books of accounts are finalized, right? And of course, subsequently, section 31 capital A was inserted, and it gave powers to the employers to link the payment of bonus to production or productivity. But what is required is a clear written agreement between the management and the union. In case if there is no union, then the representative of the employees, they should sign on behalf of the employees. So that agreement must be there in writing, right? But in any case, whether it is linked to production or productivity, or even if it is paid based on profits, the rate of bonus, it shall be between 8.33 and 20. So minimum should be 8.33 and maximum it can go up to 20%. There is no compromise in that, right? But for some reason, if the employers want to pay this amount on monthly basis, for some reason, again we would suggest it is better to pay it as bonus advance, and it should not get reflected in any of the records, particularly salary related records. Any of the accounts records, it should not get reflected. And it is better to get the request from each individual every month requesting for giving bonus advance. Then based on the request, as employer, the payment can be made, and we may have to maintain a separate record for that. Then at the end of the financial year, accounting year, once we declare the year-end bonus, the actual amount paid for the entire 12 months can be adjusted against that, right? So maybe if that procedure is followed, I think that could to some extent safeguard the interest of the management, right? Otherwise, what can happen if somebody raises a query, raises a dispute, then the court can come to a conclusion that what was paid on monthly basis was not actually bonus, right? So then the onus is on the employer to prove that it is only against statutory bonus, because the payment of customary bonus interim bonus or the festival or puja bonus, it is allowed as per section 17 of the Act, and that alone can be adjusted, right? But giving advance on every month or making interim payment every month, I think that practice itself can be questioned. So let us be aware of that risk, but still for some reason, if we want to go through that, I think we can follow this procedure so that to some extent this could safeguard the interest of the employer or the management.